Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the new chapter from History Civics, Unit 4, Forms of Government. So, in this chapter, we are going to see about the types of constitutions, the forms of government, the merits and demerits of the different forms of government, and also the differences between the unitary and federal, presidential, and parliamentary forms of government. So, first we can see about what is meant by government. So, government means it is nothing but it is an executive functions of the state. So it has the power to enforce any laws which will be applicable to the civil, corporate or religious, academic or and also for other groups. So it will serve as the it will serve for the people, serve for the welfare of the people. So, the three organs of the government are the legislature, executive, and judiciary. So, what is meant by legislature? It means the law making is called the legislature, which also be you learn in the last sections. So, executive means the administrative power. That means the supreme power has the power to take any decisions, to make any laws, and judiciary is we have judiciary system to interpret in any laws or to defend any laws or to apply any laws. So these are the organs of the government. So the types of constitutions. So we can divide the types of constitutions into three. They are the written constitutions or unwritten constitutions, federal unity or unitary, flexible or rigid. So first we are going to see about the unitary forms of governments. So unitary forms of government means a unitary form state of the system of the government or unitary state is a sovereign state that is governed as the single entity. Here, the central government is supreme and administrative divisions exercise only power that the central government has delegated to them. That means here the unitary form means the single supreme power is called the unitary form of governments. That single government only has the power to take any decisions, to apply any decisions to the country. Okay, so no one can interpret in that, like you can see some countries are following this unitary form of governments like England, France, Japan and Sri Lanka are the examples of unitary forms of government. Okay, so in these countries only one central government is there, no other, like no, the country will not be divided. That means in our country of UPC means we have one central power and also we have the state power also, right? Each and every state also has the power, but in this country only the single government, that means single power is proceedings in these countries. So the term government is derived from the old French governor, which was derived from Latin gubernare, to direct, rule or guide the govern. So this is the meaning. So government means he has to direct the people, he has to rule the people, he has to guide the people and he has to govern the people. So we can see some of the merits and demerits of the unitary form of government. So first we can see about the merits. So this is the unitary form of government is suitable for the small countries and there is no conflict of authority and responsibility. So next, the unitary government will make prominent decisions and take speedy actions. So unitary government is less expensive and amendments to the constitutions are very easy. There is uniformity of law, policy and administration. So in the unitary form of government we can proclaim these forms of government only for some small countries, and it will the actions and the decisions will be taken by this government was very fast and speedy actions, and was very less expensive, and also to give any amendment it was also very easy because they itself have to take the decision. They no need to concern with any other government, state government or like that, no. So they can, so that amendments of any laws is also very easy. So there is uniformity of law, so that there will be unity in the country, and there will be no partiality in taking laws. So these are the merits of the unitary forms of government. So what are the demerits means? It is not suitable for big countries. This unitary form of government is will not be suited for the big countries, and the central government will have to tackle so many complex problems that lead to administrative delay. So what will happen mean the supreme power, they itself have to take the decisions, no? So for a big problems, they for a complex problems, it will take more time to take solutions. Because if here if Tamil Nadu have any problem, we our state peoples know what the problem exactly. So it doesn't, our Tamil Nadu state itself will take any solutions, right? So and so that the solutions, we will get the solutions very easily. But because of the central power only how to take the solutions, it will take more time. And then the central government will not concentrate on local problems, local interest and initiative, yes. So they will not take for the initiative for the small problems and the local areas. It will not enter into the ears of the central power, and also they will not concern all that small issues. So the next, the concentration of powers may pave way for the nepotism of the central government. So they will not concentrate for more on the small local problems. So then what are the unitary features of Indian constitutions? We have a strong central and central government control over state territory, and we have single constitutions, flexibility of the constitutions, unequal representation of states, emergency provisions, single citizenships, single integrated judiciary, all interior services, appointment of governor by the central government. All these are the some of the features of our Indian constitutions. So we have the strong central government, and we have the strong, their central governments are taking over all the Indian states territory, and we have a single constitutions. So we have very flexibility in that constitutions, and also we have the emergency provisions options also have. Then we have single citizenship, yes, and we have a single integrated judiciary, independent judiciary. So then we have the governor who are appointed only by the central government. So these are the key features of the Indian constitutions. Next is about the federal form of government. So this federal form of government, we can classify the government into unitary and federalist based on the nature of the relations between the national and the regional governments. So the federal governments one which the power are divided between the national government and the regional governments by the constitution itself, and both operate in their respective jurisdictions independently. USA, Switzerland, Australia, Canada, Russia, Brazil, Argentina have federal forms of government. So here federal forms of governments means here is also they have own central governments, and also they are dividing the central government of supreme power into national government and regional government. They will be divided into two. One is the national government and other is the regional governments. So countries like Switzerland, Australia, Canada, USA are following these types of federal form of government. Okay, so the merits of federal forms of government are reconciliations of local autonomy with national unity. Then division of power between center and states leads to the administrative efficiency. It gives us rise to big states. Then distribution of powers check the despotism of central government. Then it is more suitable for bigger countries. It is good for economic and cultural progress. So the some of the merits we can see is here. So it will give us a good administrative, that means efficient administrative, and it will make the states to rise as bigger, and it will be good for the for economic wise and our cultural wise progress. These federal forms of government are very better. The demerits of federal forms of government or federal government is weaker when compared to the unitary government. So federal government is more expensive one. So while comparing to the unitary, federal government was not at all good. It is a weaker one and is more expensive one. Provisional tendencies are also very common in these federal forms of government, and there will be a lack of uniformity in administrations. So administration levels, it will not be uniform wise, and a threat to national unity, there will be have a threat for that national unity. Then distribution of powers between center and state lead to conflicts. Then double citizenships, rigid constitutions cannot be mended easily for changing the needs. Then state government sometimes place hindrance in the foreign policy. So some demerits we can see means it is was very expensive and it is the weaker one, and there will be ununiformity in the administrative level. So while we are distributing the power between the center and the states, it will lead to some complex issues. And here we have the double citizenships. A rigid constitution cannot be made easy for changing needs, so we cannot able to change the constitutions according to the needs, our needs. So these are some of the demerits of the federal forms of government. So the some key features of these Indian constitutions are, so here we have dual government, that means two government, and here we have written constitutions. Then divisions of, we are dividing the power into national and regional wise. Then supremacy of the constitutions. Then we have a rigid, that means fixed constitutions. Then we have an independent judiciary. Then bicameralism. All these are the some of the features of the federal forms of government in the Indian constitutions. Okay guys, next we can see the differences between unitary form and federal form of government. So first, unitary, only one level of government or subunits. In federal form we have two levels of government. That means in unitary we have only one single single supreme power, right? So there is only one level of government, but at the same time federal form we have two levels. So in unitary form we have single citizenships. In federal forms we have dual citizenships. Then so here in the unitary forms, here we can divide the subunits cannot be operates independently, but in the federal form of government the federal units are answerable to the central governments. So as the unitary form is a single supreme power, they no need to answer to any others, but federal form they have to answer to the central governments. So here no division of power in unitary form, and we have divisions of power in the federal forms. So in the unitary form of government, the centralizations of power, and in the federal form of government, decentralization of the power. So these are the major differences between the unitary form of government and the federal form of government. Then we can see the differences between the presidential form of government and parliamentary form of government. So first, the president, president is directly elected by the people in the presidential form of government. Okay, so parliamentary form of people means prime minister is from the majority party. So like some countries is like which countries are following this parliamentary form of government and the presidential form of government is the countries is like America and all, they are following the presidential form of government, and the countries is like India and all following the parliamentary form of government. So in the parliamentary form of government, the prime minister was the supreme power, and he was elected by majority, by according to the majority party, right? But now only the president elections was over in America, right? So there the president was directly elected by the people. And in president form of government, the president is supreme. Here in parliamentary form of, in India, like parliamentary form of government, central legislatures, the central power is the supreme one. So presidential form of government, there will be separation of powers, and parliamentary form of government, absence of separation powers, centralizations. It will not be happened, thus separation of power will not be happened in the parliamentary form of government. Then presidential form of government, independent branches are there, but in the parliamentary form of government, independent branches with overlapping functions. We also have the independent branches, but we have the functions one over the other. That means overlapping of functions will be there in the parliamentary form of government. So in the presidential form of government, president is the head of the state, and parliamentary form of the government, here is also president is also the head of the state. Then president head of the government, but prime minister is the head of the government in the parliamentary form of the state. So see the major difference in countries like America. For the government, for the American government, president is the head, okay, but like countries like India, we have the government, and the head of the government is the prime minister. Then in the presidential form of government, it is individual leadership, and the parliamentary form of the government, we have the collective leaderships. So prime minister will not able to take any decisions with the he have to discuss with the other members of the government, and then only he can able to take any decisions. So it is the collective leaderships. So in the presidential form of government, president is not accountable to Congress. Here the collective and individual responsibility is for the parliamentary form of the government. So in our countries, India, we have the collective leaderships, and also we have the individual responsibility. We have the individual responsibility and have the collective leaderships. Okay, so these are the major differences between the president form of government and parliamentary form of government. So this is about this chapter, guys. It's an easy chapter. You can majorly learn the differences between the present form of government, parliamentary government, and what are the differences between unitary form of government and federal form of government, then merits and demerits of the unitary, federal, etc. Okay, so that's for today's class. Thank you, guys.